What I believe is that marriage is between a man and a woman. What I believe in my faith is that a man and a woman, when they get married, are performing something before God, and it's not simply the two persons who are meeting. We have a set of traditions in place that I think need to be preserved. I think there are a whole host of things that are civil rights, and then there are other things, such as traditional marriage, that I think express a community's concern and regard for a particular institution.
So marriage is not a civil right as far as you're concerned?
I don't think marriage is a civil right. Marriage is the union between a man and a woman. Now, for me as a Christian, for me as a Christian, it's also a sacred union. God's in the mix. I am not somebody who promotes same-sex marriage.
Do you support gay marriage?
No, Barack Obama nor I support redefining from a civil side what constitutes marriage. We do not support that. But it is evolving. I think the country is evolving. I remember the first time he met with the Joint Chiefs, I was with him, met and said, gentlemen, I want you to prepare now. I want to end Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And so we prepared the ground so that it was so widely accepted as it is today by the military. And I think the same thing is happening across the country with regard to the issue of marriage.
I vowed to keep up the fight against the so-called Defense of Marriage Act. There's a bill to repeal this discriminatory law in Congress, and I want to see that passed. But until we reach that day, my administration is no longer defending DOMA in the courts. I believe the law runs counter to the Constitution, and it's time for it to end once and for all. It should join Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the history books.
Is that what you believe now?
That's what I believe.
And you're comfortable with same-sex marriage now?
Look, I am Vice President of the United States of America. The President sets the policy. I am absolutely comfortable with the fact that men marrying men, women marrying women, and heterosexual men and women marrying men all are entitled to the same exact rights, all the civil rights, all the civil liberties. And quite frankly, I don't see much of a distinction. When things really begin to change is when the social culture changes. I think Will and Grace probably did more to educate the American public than almost anything anybody's ever done so far.
At a certain point, I've just concluded that, for me personally, it is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
I know we have disagreements about gay marriage, but let me tell you something as someone who supports the idea. If it's adopted nationwide by judicial fiat, because Obama gets reelected and installs more liberal justices on this court, it would be a disaster. It would tear the country apart, maybe as badly as Roe v. Wade did. And that's just one of the reasons I think it's so important to vote this guy out in November.
We are making change. We're making real and lasting change. We can be proud of the progress we've already made.